Let us start the class of chemistry today. I hope you are all fine and enjoying your studies. Keep studying and enjoy your studies. That's what I wish. Keep enjoying your studies. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. जब मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ तब भी आप पूछ सकते हैं, क्लास के बाद भी पूछ सकते हैं, आपका जैसा मर्जी है। आप लोग मुझे जब भी जरूरत पड़े इस तरह से पूछ सकते हैं। चलिए बच्चों, पढ़ाई स्टार्ट करते हैं। लेट अस स्टार्ट स्टडीइंग केमिस्ट्री। In the previous class, my dear students, we have studied about the type of bonds. You might have seen that we have studied the various bonds, and these bonds that we have studied was the two type of bonds. Do you remember which two type of bonds did we study about? आपको याद है हमने कौन से दो प्रकार के बॉन्ड्स के बारे में पढ़ा था बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
हमने पढ़ा था, we have studied about covalent bonds and we have studied about the
Ionic.
covalent bond and we have studied about the ionic bonds. So we have studied about the covalent bond. In the covalent bond, we have studied about the examples of hydrogen. We have studied about chlorine. We have studied about fluorine. These all were have the single bonds. We have studied about the O2 with double bond. We have studied about N2 triple bond. We have even studied about some heteroatomic molecules. Which heteroatomic molecules we have studied? We have studied H2O, we have studied NH3. We have even studied S8. These are the molecules, my dear students, which are homoatomic. Homoatomic. What is the meaning of homoatomic? All the atoms are same. And these are heteroatomic because they have different kind of atoms. So this is what we have studied into our previous classes, my dear students, that how the covalent bonds can be formed into them. Now, my dear students, we are going to study in detail about the carbon and its compound. So let us study about the carbon and its compound. So we should know first that carbon has got symbol The symbol of carbon is C. You should even know that carbon has got electronic configuration.
2, 4.
Very good. The electron distribution in carbon, the electron distribution in carbon is 2, 4 because atomic number is 6. As its atomic number is 6, you know in K it has 2 and in the L shell it has 4 electrons. So what we truly understand here is this, that carbon has number of valence electrons. The number of valence electrons are 4. So we can say that the valency of carbon is equal to 4. Now what is the meaning of valency of carbon is equal to 4? It simply means that carbon can make 4 bonds. So my dear students, from this you might have understood that carbon can make 4 bonds. This carbon can make 4 bonds because it has 4 electrons present in it. Now let us study about carbon. Now carbon, that is 2, 4, would like to convert itself like the inert gas. So carbon make compound by converting itself like inert gases. How do carbon make compounds? So carbon want to convert itself like the inert gas. There are 2 inert gases available around the carbon. One is Z is equal to 10, that is your neon. The another one is Z is equal to 2, that is your helium. So carbon may convert itself into the helium or neon. The electronic configuration of helium is 2. The electronic configuration of neon is 2A. To convert this carbon in like neon, we will have to add 4 electron. When we add 4 electron, what happens? 2, 4 turns to be 2, 8 by addition of 4 electron. If we want to convert this carbon like helium, we need to remove 4 electron. That means this 2, 4 by doing minus 4 turns into 2. Now when carbon takes 4 electron, it becomes C minus 4. When carbon removes 4 electron, it turns C plus 4. So, if we want to make the ions from carbon, If you want to make the ions from carbon, my dear students, please remember well, these two are the ions. And to make the ions, carbon either has to gain 4 electron or it has to lose 4 electron. Now what do you think, my dear students? Is it easy to gain 4 electron or lose 4 electron? I am asking to you, my dear students. मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं कि 4 इलेक्ट्रॉन को पाना और 4 इलेक्ट्रॉन को खोना इजी होगा कि डिफिकल्ट होगा?
difficult,
डिफिकल्ट होगा. तो इट इज डिफिकल्ट It is difficult, my dear students, to gain or lose 4 electrons. So instead of gaining or losing electrons, my dear students, कार्बन क्या करेगा बताइए? कोई बता सकते हैं? कार्बन प्रिफर्स टू शेयर इलेक्ट्रॉन. You know, my dear students, instead of losing or gaining electrons, this carbon prefer to share electrons. And when carbon prefer to share electrons, therefore, what we can say? Carbon make covalent compounds. Please remember that instead of losing or gaining electron, carbon share its electrons. Carbon make covalent compounds or carbon make covalent bonds. So please remember that the carbon, instead of losing or gaining electrons, carbon share its electrons, and by sharing the electrons, carbon make either covalent bond or carbon make covalent compounds. So all the compounds of carbon are mostly the covalent compounds, or they have the covalent bonds. So now let us understand about carbon in detail, that how carbon makes the bonds and how the compounds from carbon are formed. The first thing that comes in our mind, obviously here, is this, that carbon generally make covalent bond by sharing the electrons. So carbon can make bonds with hydrogen. Carbon, when make bonds with hydrogen, it forms hydrocarbon compound. So if someone asks you what is hydrocarbon compound, then you can easily answer that those compounds which contains only carbon and hydrogen, they are known as the hydrocarbon compounds. So what is the meaning of hydrocarbon compounds? The meaning of hydrocarbon compound is compound containing only hydrogen and carbon. Those compounds which contain only hydrogen and carbon, they are known as the hydrocarbon compounds. Compound containing hydrogen and carbon only. So when compound contains hydrogen and carbon only, they are known as hydrocarbon compounds. These hydrocarbon compounds, my dear students, they can again classify in three various classes. Let us see these three various classes of hydrocarbon compounds. The first class of hydrocarbon compound is known as the alkane. The second class of hydrocarbon compound is known as alkene. The third class of hydrocarbon compound is known as alkyne. So this is how we understand. Now what is the speciality of these alkanes that we should study now? So alkanes have all single bond. Please remember that alkanes have all single bonds. Alkenes have at least one. Alkenes will have at least one C double bond C. If a carbon compound or if hydrocarbon has at least one C double bond C, then it is known as alkene. And alkynes will always have at least one C triple bond C. So this is the basic requirement for preparing the alkanes, alkenes and alkynes, that when a hydrocarbon has got all single bonds, it is alkane. When at least one C double bond C is present, it is known as alkene. And when at least one C triple bond C is present, it is known as alkynes. So this is how, my dear students, we can understand about the alkanes, alkenes and alkynes, which are hydrocarbons. Now let us study the formation of single, double and triple bond in hydrocarbon. Let us study the formation of single, double and triple bond in hydrocarbon. So when we have, suppose we have, this is carbon. It has 4 electrons, you can see here. One is here, one, another one is here, the next one is here, the fourth one is here. Now what happens, my dear students? We know that when we have hydrocarbon, this hydrocarbon has only hydrogen and carbon. So this carbon is already present over here, you can easily see it. Now let us share this electron of carbon with hydrogen. You can see here easily this way. So you can see here that with one carbon, we have just seen that carbon has valency 4. Carbon can make 4 bonds at a time and carbon share its electron. So here you can see, my dear students, that carbon has shared its electron. Carbon has shared its electron, and as the carbon had shared its electron with hydrogen, my dear students, we have got one compound. The compound that we have got, in which the carbon has made 4 bonds, that we will see one by one, with 4 hydrogen. So you can easily see, my dear students, that we have carbon. This carbon had shared its electron with hydrogen. So you can see that this is the electron coming from hydrogen. This is the electron from hydrogen. So this electron that comes from hydrogen will make 4 bonds. So each 2 electron will make single bond, and this is how we have got 4 bonds. You can see that this compound can be written as CH4, and the name of this compound is methane. This methane contains only hydrogen and carbon, and this is what it is the example of alkane. Now, my dear students, we are going to study the double bond, how the double bond can be formed. So you can see here all the bonds are single bond. And as all the bonds are single, we call it alkane. Now when we study about the another part, you can see here, my dear students, that suppose we have 2 carbons. This is carbon number 1. This is carbon number 2. Each carbon had shared its electron. So each carbon had shared 2 electrons, out of which so you can see that there are 4 electrons available here. These 4 electrons from 2 different carbons are being shared. When it comes to the sharing of 4 electrons, my dear students, till this each carbon has got single electron left with it. Sorry, not single electron, but 2 single electrons are left with each carbon. As this 2 electrons or 2 single electrons are left with each carbon, these electrons are shared with the electrons of hydrogen. So you can see here that each carbon shares its 2 electron with 2 hydrogen. As you can see here, there are 4 electrons. There is a double bond between 2 carbon because of these 4 electron, and there is one single bond between carbon and hydrogen. So we can write it this way. This is CH2 double bond CH2. We can even write it as C2H4. Here you can see, my dear student, that there is a double bond. There is double bond. C double bond C present over here. As this C double bond C present over here, this is what it is, nothing but your Alkene. Please try to understand this difference. See, alkane has got Ane, double bond has got Ene, and that is why this compound is named as, ethene. ETHENE. Now we'll try to understand the triple bond, how this triple bond is possible into the compounds of carbon. Let us try to see and understand it. Suppose, my dear students, we have two carbon. These two carbon share their electrons. Let us say each carbon share 3 electrons. So here you can see that each carbon share its 3 electrons. When 3 electrons are being shared, my dear students, we get triple bond. So here we may get triple bond between these two carbon. Now each carbon has given its 3 electron. 1 electron is left still with the carbon. So 1 electron from this carbon is left with carbon. This electron of carbon is shared with the electron of hydrogen to make single bond. So this is how, my dear students, you can see here that C triple bond C, you can easily see here that we have C triple bond C is being formed, and then single bond with hydrogen is also being formed. So this is what it is, nothing but your HC triple bond CH. This is what you can even write it as C2H2. You can see here that there is one triple bond. Here you can see, my dear students, that we have one triple bond with us. You can see here we have one triple bond. And when we have one triple bond, we call them as Alkane, alkyne. So when you have one triple bond, my dear students, we call them alkyne, and that is why the name of this compound that we have formed here, the name of this compound we will give. Hello dear students, are you there? बच्चों आप हो क्या इधर? हेलो, आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हो बच्चों?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
कि when there is triple bond, with this triple bond, my dear students, we can give the name of the compound as ethyne, ETHYNE. ठीक है ना बच्चों? हेलो हेलो बच्चों, क्या आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हो?
यस सर।
सर।
तो ये इस तरह से
यस सर।
बच्चों हम देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे हमने अल्केन, एल्कीन एंड अल्काइन तीनों के बारे में पढ़ा। एल्केन जो होते हैं उसमें ऑल सिंगल बॉन्ड होते हैं, एल्कीन जो होते हैं उसमें डबल बॉन्ड होते हैं, और अल्काइन जो होते हैं उसमें ट्रिपल बॉन्ड होते हैं। तो प्यारे बच्चों, ये जो हमने पढ़ा उसको हम आगे लेके अगले क्लास में जाएंगे। अभी आज का क्लास यहाँ तक ही रखते हैं और आज की क्लास को हम यही खत्म करते हैं। तो चलिए बच्चों, आपको अगर कुछ समझ में नहीं आया तो पूछिए, कोई डाउट है तो पूछिए, वरना फिर आप लोग अगली क्लास के लिए जा सकते हैं। कुछ पूछना है आपको? आपको कुछ पूछना है बच्चों? तो चलिए फिर क्लास को खत्म करते हैं। बाय बाय बोल के आप जाइए।
Bye, sir.
बाय सर।
Bye, sir.
बाय बेटा।